Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. I believe I've got everything set up on my end anyway. Okay, good. Yeah, close enough. Pardon any lag. It might, my old computer liked to lag, or my old laptop liked to lag whenever I moved this, just sized a screen or went to a website. So if this does it too, I'm sorry about that. It shouldn't. It's 2025. Here's what's messed up. This must be a Windows 11 thing. They don't know this. Whoever edited Richard Burton's book didn't know this. I know this, so I'll tell you. When you're writing and you have to put a colon, you hit space, then the very next letter is capitalized. No exception. Unless there's one in the Lord of the Rings. I don't think there's any exception. Windows 11 doesn't know that because if you're fully charged up on the battery, it'll say battery status, colon, space, lowercase f, fully charged. Not really. If it was fully charged, I think it would be a capital F. So I don't even think that's 100%. I think that's 99%. I can't prove it. I'm not in there, but it's just little things like that. I always wondered why it felt wrong to see this charged up all the way, and I didn't know why I felt that way. It's like, well, let me really look at my reading. I mean, okay, they don't want to put a period after things. I can understand that. That's really not the way to do things nowadays. But that capital is that's like somebody spelling your first or last name all lowercase on a government official document. You could write your screen name like that. You don't. It's a proper noun that's capitalized. It's just whoever designed Windows 11 slept through English class, and that's bad. That's really bad. From what I understand, they don't even teach English anymore. They call it something else. And I mean, I'm not in school. I just heard from a friend's child said that. I was like, oh well, something about the English class. They still teach that. Blah blah blah. I thought I knew what I was talking about. And then this woman's, I don't know how old this kid was, like 12, 13. And she wasn't being a smartass. She was just, kids are just honest. They just tell you what it is. Or they're like, well, actually, we don't have English class at all. It's called like language arts. What do you do? Instead of saying like writing the word apple, since they can't visualize it, they have to try to like draw it, paint it. I'm sure that, yeah, that's just one class. I don't know what the rest of the classes are like. I was not, I was all done with school by the time 9/11 happened. And then just from hearing folks who still had to go to school during that time, it sounds like it was 1 week, it was one way. And then the next week, it's metal detectors. And like, I think our high school had cops standing around, but I don't know if they were there all day. I just distinctly remember walking in and there's folks just like it's a school. Nobody should just be like standing around hanging out. You have somewhere to be. If you're not there to teach a class, you're there to go to a class, or you're the principal, get in your office. So who the hell's just standing there hanging out? So you walk in, and this was the late 90s, and just they got to sit there. They got their hands like that down for they got to. Like, I'm just trying to go to school. Why you got to fear porn me with this dude with a gun? I just want to go to class. I'm not even awake yet. I'm a teenager. Teenagers should not be up that early. They're supposed to sleep more. So that was that. And Frank is off today. He does take his every other Friday off to just spend time with his family on a Friday. I guess, I assume. I really don't know. He could sit in bed all day eating potato chips for all we know. He's allowed to. So that's why he's off. Sometimes they air stuff on the channel when Frank is off at 7 p.m., but I really don't know because I'm usually busy at that time. I do see a Pickle Gamer is live. He's a Frankly. He's a gamer too. If you couldn't tell by the name, Pickle Farmer. He was out for a minute. He's not in the chat room a lot. He's in a different time zone, so it's just it's different on the West Coast. But it's like the uploads stopped for a while, and then all of a sudden he put a post up about like being in the hospital and just stuff like that. Of course, they're not going to detail everything. It just that he was sick in the hospital, would come back when he could. You can't ask any questions because that's the sick person is the one answering the questions, so you can't get any more information. You just have to sit with it. So that was that. That was a month or two ago. It feels like longer, but my concept of time, it really was not that long ago. Like a month and a half. But it's now he's back with the uploads, and he just plays it's like he plays fighting games. That's fine. I mean, I was all about some Grand Theft Auto back in the day. But so he's back. He's been uploading regularly for a while now, and then did I write this down? Either yesterday or the day before. His wife is a Frankly as well, but she pops into the chat room. J5000 did, and I just said hi, and they are married. They're a couple, and we do have a lot of Frankly couples. So it's nice to see like two folks who get along so well, and they encourage each other. Like she's cool with him being a gamer, and they take care of each other, look after each other. They're just good people, and I just sort of just gave him a compliment. Or gave her a compliment, just said they're both awesome. I hadn't seen them in a while. And she told me, oh my God, did I write it down? But dude was, yeah, it was just my handwriting was so crummy. Yeah, it started out, it was a kidney stone. Then he had to have surgery, and then his kidney burst, and then internal bleeding, and then dude had a lung collapse, and he had to get blood transfusions, and it sounded like he was in the hospital just for a month solid, just dealing with that. Clearly, he's out now, he's recovered. But like okay, his wife gets under the weather too. Then who holds things together? So that's scary as hell. But he's powered through it. He's back on his feet. He's doing the gaming thing. So more power to him. I just thought like, oh, he was just when you go to the hospital, you just don't really feel like doing anything afterwards. You're just recovering. I kind of sort of thought it was that. I didn't realize everything was just breaking down all at once and just falling apart. But if it's not your time, it's not your time. So he got through it, and he's still working. So they are. I mean, everybody's struggling to some degree, but it sounds like they're on the upswing, and they deserve it. They're good people. So yeah, the shout out to Pickled Gamer and J5000. And also, she didn't tell me to say anything. I had just reached out to Jenna. We know Jenna, the Frankly, just privately about something. I do notice that she hadn't been around for a while, but I just assume, folks have lives, or, maybe the family came in from out of town, so you've got to deal with, 10 people who are kind of like half strangers. I don't know what people do. But she's hasn't been in the chat room. I guess she's been under the weather, just with a medical thing. She didn't tell me to say anything. I kind of feel scummy bringing up something that came in a DM, but she's okay. Just had a medical thing happen that she's dealing with and recovering from. So just keep her in your thoughts. She's doing okay. She'll be coming back around when she can. We'll keep her seat dry. And that chick cracks me up too. Oh, what's up, One to Go To? Glad you made it. Monday. Oh, man. it felt like a Friday all day. It's like, man, for being Friday, it feels like we only went to 4 shows. That's wild, but it's not. It's according to my calculator calendar. It's Friday, September 12th. So we're less than a month away from New Year's Day. So on the whole, I would say I had a pretty good week, but then I don't watch the news. So one day I was very surprised when I showed up to the chat room, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Let me go all the way back to Monday, September the 8th? Question mark? Okay. If that was this week, I'll take its word for it. I don't have a problem with math, but keeping dates straight, it just does not. It doesn't. It sounds like it's farther away. But I'm glad this is what it was. Friday, not Friday, but Monday's show was covered the, quite frankly, jamboree that he had on Friday and Saturday. So we got to just sort of get the extra, like stuff you wouldn't know if you weren't there, or maybe just like personal thoughts that Frank and Jupiter had while they were going through those 2 days. Oh, what's up, Snow Soup? Glad you made it. It says, hello, Nikki. Well, isn't that a wonderful color for an excellent hat? Hells yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to get the dark purple dye in Minecraft. So I don't have to. I use creative mode, but I want to know that stuff in case I ever do survival. So it's interesting to like see a tutorial on how to build something and then figure it out myself and build it. Like I've got a sugarcane farm. I've got a sugarcane and or bamboo. But it's electric. I don't need something running all the time. So I just really like, let me just find a way to put hoppers in here. It doesn't need to be quite that automated. What's up, John Rogers? Glad you made it. I'm just not that mechanically minded. I just want to see if I can copy what I see in videos. And then these people, it's like, does nobody who plays alpha need any help? Because it seems like most of these videos are for Bedrock players. I don't do that. Apparently Java's better for mods. I like Biomes Aplenty. What's up, Barton? Glad you made it. Getting a bit off topic. So yeah, I did not watch on Saturday or Friday or Saturday, whenever Frank uploaded. It must have been Friday. Frank had uploaded something on YouTube, and I guess that was him walking around with his camera. So that's what we got to see at the Monday show. I was live that day. I went live at 5, so I was done right at 7. That way, if folks wanted to watch, quite frankly, at 7 p.m., they could just hop directly from my channel over to Frank. And that's what ended up happening about 3 minutes tops. After I ended my show on time, Frank went live, so good for him. So it was really exciting. I'm starting to notice a couple new people, a couple new names in the chat room. I don't know if there were folks that were at the jamboree. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but I noticed that just in the chat room. I do want to say, on the whole, what this whole event kind of seemed like, because it just felt like if you couldn't get there, you were just screwed, and that was it. But listening to everybody's stories and folks called in, and it was like a 2.5 hour long Monday show. Just what I gleaned off of what everybody was talking about is, at some point Jupiter said something. I wish I wrote it down, but it clicked for me. And I realized I didn't have to be there. Because what it is, sorry, I'm moving something you can't see. Oh, now you can see it. That's a problem. That's a problem. Okay, we're okay. What I gathered is that now, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming like Frank and Jupiter Gulanello for not hanging out in the chat room as much as we do. Frank kind of can't because he's doing the show and he's got multiple chat rooms open at once, so he can't spend 2 hours riffing off everybody's comments. I don't know what Jupiter Gulanello does when he's not on the show. It's I've never seen him in the chat room. So he's just a guest on the show. That's fine. I don't expect him to be talking with Frank and talking about the things he's thinking about and be, heavy in the chat room. So I'm not knocking them for not knowing this. But I am in the chat room. I've been in the chat room steady for over 10 and a half years. So I know all of these people, even though I don't have a physical face to connect with them. I don't need that with people. I care more about somebody's soul than other stuff. You ever meet somebody who's like just the most boring fucking person? Like they're pretty in the face, but as soon as they open their mouth, you wish they never were taught words. That, yeah. So I don't, all the way we look, the way we sound, how tall, how fat, how short, whatever. It doesn't matter. What's in your heart, what's in your soul, what you put out into the world is what matters. So I don't need a physical face to connect that with. I keep track of people by signs, but I don't need to have like a body shape in order to consider somebody a human. So I already know all of these folks better just from talking to them over a decade than you could know about a person. Yet, as meeting somebody in real life, it is different. But it's just one night. It's not 10 years worth of shows where we're talking about highs and lows and laughing and crying together and all that stuff. So it's basically the people who got to go to the Jamboree. It sounded just like a physical embodiment of the chat room. You've just got this variety of people. You don't have like the faces don't connect with anything. You haven't seen them before, but you get along about the same topics. You both like the same show, so you have something in common. So you get along because of that. And I get to do that every single night in the chat room. What's up, Dusty Blue? It's not just one night. It's not just 2 nights and that's it. It's every single night for me. So what I get to do just by hanging out in the chat room, and on the balcony, it's the same thing as what they went through at the Jamboree. It's just physical. So like in the chat room, we can eat whatever we want. At the Jamboree, they were limited by real life. So well, we almost have it better. What's up, Dragon Sage? Glad you made it. It is cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, oh, you're dumb for going. Like it's cool if you can go meet Franklies, meet Franklies. But the actual experience, the actual being in it, that feeling, we get that every single night. Every single night we're in the chat room. So if you couldn't go and you do feel bad about it, don't. Just show up to the chat room every night and you'll get that exact same feeling for years and years and years on end. That's what I've been doing. I was, mad I couldn't go, and then I just had to be okay with it. You do other stuff. You don't dwell on it. I can play Minecraft. I can watch Dark Shadows. But then just to like go through that whole weekend, and I was fine. I was here talking about Dark Shadows. I had fun, and just to get to Monday and then have whatever Jupiter had said, and it just clicked for me. It just clicked. It's the YouTube chat room, but in New York City for 2 nights. So in a way, we didn't miss out. In a way, we've got it better because we can see each other more in the chat room. I'm not knocking it. It is. I'm glad that he did put that together. But just because you couldn't go, you're not missing out at all. If you can make it to live shows, you're having just as good of a time, just as good of an experience as you would have had at that one meetup. So it's nobody. If you feel like you lost out, you didn't. You really did not. I never did a 180 flip about something so important to me like that. So that was, it's good to know that we're all, Frankly's asterisk. Dragon Sage is in Ottawa tonight. Nice. I seem to have written down a lot of notes. Is that all Monday? That's all Monday. Oh my God. Like I say, Monday was a 2.5 hour long show. It was just like, I'm glad we didn't, like, no current events, no nothing else, no videos, no AI. Dragon Sage back in English Canada. Oh, you're learning French? A dragon that speaks French. That is so hoity toity. More power to you learning French because, like, their counting system. Oh no, I tapped out right then. I don't even like Chanel number 5 that much. I don't know how this happened again. I wasn't there, but something happened, and Frank went to go make coffee, but there was no coffee, so people just had hot water, and it was one of those Emperor's New Clothes things. So people just sipped it and just like, yep, best ever. Didn't mention if there was keto brains in it. But hot water's good. If you have to take a pill, snap it in half, take it on an empty stomach, drink something warm. It gets into your system fastest. Oh, Dragon Sage says he has a French girlfriend now. Well, that's why you gotta learn. That's why you gotta learn. Understandable. What is it with French? Apparently, when you swear in French, it's just. Is it French or Japanese? I think it's French. Like swearing in French is just as simple as like you're using the same words, but you add like a the or an type of a word in front of it, and suddenly it becomes an insult. Yeah, because they kept talking about like meeting these people for the first time. Tabernacle. Ah, there we go. Why do I just know the bad parts about all the languages? I don't know like the swear words. I just know how to be offensive in every language. That's getting me far in life. But like it was like Frank was just meeting people I already know. Like I already know these people. So while it is exciting to like, oh my god, a physical person, like I already know these folks. They're meeting them for the first time tonight. These are people I've known for no bullshit years. And like how long's Arden been around for? Almost as long as me. So like 7 or 8 years. I mean, come on. Dusty Blue, Frank's was hilarious running to the bar to get more water to redo the coffee, mentioning to us his mistake. Like it's how can you do that? That's why I told you I had coffee insurance. That's why. That's why you can't screw up coffee in New York. Was he just so excited he got everything except that? Because I'm the type to forget stuff like that. Was it his own coffee? I forget if he said. Yeah, Arden, yeah, long time. I was just thinking because Arden found the show maybe about a year or so later. Wally showed up, and then I figured out that I think I figured out they were married, and then I figured out Arden was a girl, but I don't. I'm not that hung up about it. Yeah, Dragon Sage has been around 5+ years now. It seems like it, yeah. And then some folks have just been around longer. They just were too shy to talk, or they just said hi and never said anything else. So yeah, they're just meeting folks that I've been knowing for a decade. So that's what that was. We got to see Dusty Blue in the pictures. It was for a second, like, aw, that's what I would have. I don't imagine what anybody would look like, but then you see somebody and like, you know what? That's the kind of person I can imagine like setting up. She does like those big, huge, like themed parties for kids, so so they're not running around crazy. So like they have stuff to, like color with and decorate and do projects. Like it sounds fun to go to, and I'm not even a kid. Lorelai slept through the whole show. That girl was just nodded out, frozen for 2.5 hours. Like Larry didn't even nod out that bad. She must have been partying, but like that. Watch that lava lamp. She just did not move an inch. Hell yeah, that's a party. That she's okay. She's not. She didn't Zanny herself out. But oh my god, that lava lamp was feeling it. Oh no, I tore my page. Stove Soup said there was so much going on. It's not that big of a space. I'm like, yeah, you got a few people in there. It seems big, but you got that many more people in there, and those high ceilings, and it seems to be more white. That I was there 9 years ago. I mean, if I would forgive them for like redecorating in the last almost decade, but it's like whiter. in there. I swear the green room was maybe a little bit more gray. Um, but you get that many people in there, suddenly it gets hot, and there's something about air conditioning, and just, folks are excited, so they're sweating, and I guess folks traveled from quite a distance to be there. One fella, he looked Dutch. You can just tell when somebody photographs tall like a tree. That's how you can tell they're Dutch. And then Frank said, "Yeah, this dude came from Holland." I'm like, "Yeah, I could tell." Even if you shoot them up high, you can just tell they're tall because they're just up there. John Rogers has seen Dusty Blue and other pick reels. And Dragon Sage says, you wish you could go to the Jamboree maybe next year? I need to get a pardon for a charge from 1988. If you can remember anything from 1988, you weren't doing enough cocaine. Dude, let it go. I can barely remember 1988. Stosuba, not gonna lie, would have liked to meet Dusty Blue. Oh, were you guys not there in the? Well, was it just too busy to talk to each other? Isa's just saying. I mean, we were right there, same room when we skimmed by each other. Just saying. It doesn't. It sounds like it's too many people to even like say hi to in one night. Mm. And then about a half an hour into the Monday show, I'll say that when I'm done talking about it. I'm glad I was not watching the Friday broadcast because, yeah, there is some misinformation being spread about myself. What's up, Dill? Glad you made it. Hence the title of the show. Dusty Blue said, yeah, I gave Frank and Lauren a keepsake box, old cigar box, designed with washi tape on the top. That's for her rock, shell, and sea glass collections. I gave her 3 of my finds, one from Peru Beach. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know she collected that stuff, but that sounds like so much fun. I was into like that kind of stuff when I was a kid. That is so much fun. I'm glad you did that. It's it's one thing if somebody buys you a gift. It's something different if somebody makes you a gift. And I realize not everybody can do that. They don't have the time. Maybe they're just not creative like that. But if you get somebody that they've made it for you, it's you can use it. It's practical. That's awesome. Dragon Sage, I fought the law, but the law won. Aw, oh, damn. Oh, this is cool. There's one of our Scottish Franklies, Stan MC. They told me that they sent their friend a link to my show because I review Dark Shadows and they're a Dark Shadows fan. They're like, I hope you don't mind. I'm like, no, I don't mind at all. Thank you. I hope they think I'm doing a good enough job. That's fun. I've never met Dark Shadows fans that are not Americans. So that would be cool to hear somebody with a Scottish accent talking about Barnabas and everything. I'd lose my shit. Oh, Dragon Sage, I make tons of stuff for people. Yeah, you can just give him gold and he'll blow on it and it'll turn into a shape. Dusty Blue keepsake box was for Aurora's birthday coming up. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that is true. I did break down and cry. I saw somebody was wearing purple, not quite this dark purple, but they were definitely wearing like an all purple top. And apparently that was Stosube. Sto Stostube, in case my pronunciation is bad. That I legitimately cried about. And I told him, thank you for representing the chat room. Getting emotional about it right now. Okay, that comes at the uh, like a regular type of purple, not orchid, and it could have just been maybe my when my TV picks up color, but it wasn't pastel purple and nothing like that. Like the color of purple you would see a straight guy wear. Oh, Dale said, does he or I'm reading the screen names and not the comments. Dale says that Dark Shadows was my after school show in the 70s. Hells yes. Oh man, they go by so quick when you're not writing anything down. I was just playing some in the background and I was playing Minecraft. I was like, these are just slipping right on by. Yeah, they did. Frank was showing these pictures to everybody. I guess if you took any pictures there, give them to Frank so he can put them on the show. That's when he got to see Dusty Blue for a hot second. Yeah, Snow Soup. Yeah, that was I, my friend. Yep, that was him. You were purple. Representing. I didn't see anybody else there in person. Not in the photos. I only saw what Frank played on the Monday show. So whatever Frank showed us from the stills and the video clips, that's what I got to see. Jupiter did mention he wanted fewer people there. And I was like, wait a minute, you guys planned this whole thing. You guys should have figured out that number way back in. But it was more that he wanted to just have time to talk with everybody who wanted to talk with him. And it sounded like he was spent the whole night just having conversation with people. And they were probably just like, oh, well, I got this wrong and that wrong and this. And how do I make that stop aching? And why does this bleed? And all this thing. So I assume that's how it went. So we just had to he heard a lot of conversations, and then the night was over. Snow Soup said had to drop Nikki Purple into the fest just because. Love you, fam. Yeah, thank you. That's like that one little part of me that was there, but then I was here that night. You guys saw me at the exact same time. But Jay was just saying he just wanted fewer people there so we could, spend more time, having, the individual conversations with each person. There's only so much time to have that many conversations in that night or two. So I understand what he was saying, but at first it's like, I wanted less people to be there. It's like, you planned it! So you could just, talk. Okay, I'm like, just have it in a smaller room. What do you mean less people? Apparently, there's a Jamboree sticker that Damien created. Maybe that was exclusive. Like they were selling some shirts there, but it sounded like they were just for sale at the event. It's not like something you could buy at the merch store or anything like that. And they were $20. That's not bad for a shirt. That's really not. One girl called in, a lady, called in and she had gone to the jamboree at such a nice time that convinced her to start participating in the chat room more. That is wonderful. And I saw the look on Frank's face, but that is wonderful. The chat room is a great place. The chat room is an ecosystem. So if it's not looking the way you want it to, you have to physically get in there and make a change for things to shift. It's like chemistry or terraforming the land to make it look just how you want. So it's not its own. It is its own living, breathing thing, but it's easily influenced. So you can tip the scales of it any which way at any time. And I'm glad she wants to be a part of that. I wasn't there to tell her, like, yeah, dude, you could do this every night in the chat room. Just go to Quite Frankly on YouTube and come hang out whenever Frank does a show. So she didn't know that, but maybe now she will. She didn't say which chat room she's going to go to, but I was so happy when I heard that. That's one of the best things I heard that night. Oh, Dusty Blue did the photo booth. That's what it was. It was as Frank. Apparently, there was a photo booth. All I know about photo booths is they take 4 pictures. So, are we gonna see those on the show sometime? time. I don't know. Dill said, I love this chat. Thank you. I love you guys too. Oh, damn. Oh, there goes that. Because the chat, I know it's called a chat room, but a chat room is made up of people. Road Trip said, you need a thicker skin for chat. It's like we're getting on the school bus in 1976. I said, damn right. That's just how it is. That's how it should be. You don't, you're not safe anywhere. If you want to think about it, an asteroid can come hit you at any time, so it's there. You're never safe. Feel paranoid, but no, don't be paranoid about it. But it's a chat room. It should not be a walk in and everybody's like hugging you and loving on you. Like we don't know each other yet, man. Somebody better cuss somebody else out, or I'm gonna feel awkward in here. Somebody better swear. You want to get an honest feel for the room. You don't want people being fake nice to you. That's why Franklys get along so well. We're not the ones that stick around the longest and like the tightest. I don't want to say cliques because people kind of intersperse, but be a real person, and you will see those folks will become your friends. Arden says to Dill, I used to run home to see Dark Shadows, but always missed the beginning. So that little bit of intro, when they play the last part of the last episode, when it gets on into the 200s and from then on, like they always repeat the end of the last episode. I didn't always know why, because sometimes they change the actor's clothing, sometimes it's staged differently, sometimes it's exactly the same, and it's like they're trying to act it out the same way. But I guess that's why. They just wanted to make sure the kids could watch the show. And then Frank was saying his ideas for future events. You know, he doesn't want to just do one and done. He wants to do more things like this in the future. But I really am glad that I didn't watch on Friday, because I would have seen on Friday what Frank played on Monday. And this was right about a half an hour into the show. It's about 7:30. Stove Soup, fuck that. I'm not swearing. What the fuck? There's a commercial that comes on. It's like, it's damn hard to. I'm like, whoa, watch your damn mouth. Fucking hell, dude. It's a commercial. Maybe, like, don't bleep it out. You know, like when they just, like, drop out the audio for a word. Do that. It's a commercial. Anybody can see this. Maybe not everybody's in the mood to get sworn at 9 a.m. when they're watching a Gray Still Plays video. Watch your damn mouth. Screw you and your damn product. Who wrote this damn script? And it's probably just for beer. Beer is some pussy ass lame shit. I'm not 16. Your IPA or whatever the hell that means with your COPD, ASDW, AFK, sissy alcohol drink. Bill's asking Arden, did you have the white go-go boots? Arden said, hard to know. Of course I had the white go-go boots. You have to have like that giant heel on there. Oh my god, dude. Anyway, so what I had heard in a public video on YouTube currently, I heard Frank mentioning, asking where I was, and he was speaking with Zoso Dude, and then Zoso Dude proceeded to lie to Frank and say that he offered to give me a ride. That is bullshit. The last time he DM'd me was back in March over that whole pilled thing. I still have not gotten those gold pills from that. So just because you say something in a chat room, that's completely separate from real life. If he really wanted to give me a ride, again, I pointed out before, all the social media I'm on, he could have gotten in touch with me and offered to give me a ride. But no, he just wants to look good in a chat room. And worse, he lied to Frank. And anybody who hears that heard him lie. So he just disrespected Frank. He disrespected me. He disrespected every single, frankly, every single person who hears that video from now until it gets taken down when the earth blows up and the power goes out. But everybody's going to hear his lie. So since he decided to lie about me, I'm going to tell the truth about him. I don't like Zoso Dude. I never have. He started coming around. Wally World, glad you made it. And instead of doing things the way we do, we talk to each other and interact with each other and become friends. He decided he was going to become friends with somebody on Frank's production team as a way to, I don't know what, because we're never going to respect you if you don't spend time in the chat room. So that's no way to ingratiate yourself with us. But that's the way he did things. And he decided to become friends with somebody who already did not like me. This person, well, he had a problem with my friend. And if you have a problem with one of my friends, you have a problem with me. So they started shit. They got in trouble for it. People lost their mod status. And then they wanted to try to talk to me in the chat room. I have nothing to say. I didn't have anything to say before. I don't have words to waste on you. I have nothing to say to them at all. So Zoso Dude gets to be friends with this person. And he's always doing his trips across the country to meet folks. And he mentioned coming to see me. And I told him, you do not have permission to put me on film. And ever since I said that to him, he started acting weird. Everybody knows one of my favorite things in this world is a Perk 15. So this dude's talking about, oh yeah, next time I come through, I'll bring you some Percocet. I'll give you a shirt. I don't want a shirt for a show. I don't go there. Who the hell cares? He's offering me stuff that he knows I like and offering me just stuff I don't want. And I told him no in the chat room. Then he would be traveling and getting closer. And since he lied and got personal, I will tell you what he did say to me in DMs. He would wait until he was like, oh, I'm getting closer to your town. I'm in your state. Now I'm in this city. And that's when he would start with the, oh, I really want to come by. I'd be like, okay, I'll go meet you in the parking lot at Walmart. Oh, no, just let me come to your house. Dude was always after me, trying to get my home address. Trying to get my address to try to send me a shirt. Trying to get my home phone number so he can DM me. Again, I'm on all that social media. Nobody has to DM anybody through a text message anymore. But this dude was just on about getting my personal phone number, about getting my personal home address year after year after year. Every time he would come through, that's the only time he would DM me, would try to get my personal information. And then his producer friend, also tried to get my home address too. And I wouldn't give it to him because I know what that's about. So all this guy's done since he's shown up is not spend time in the chat room, try to get somebody's home address, tried to give them drugs, tried to get their home phone number. And he's been coming around for how many years now? Like 5? That's shady as fuck. If anybody's asking you for your home address for anything and you don't know them, it's just like when the Indians ask you for nude pictures. It's shady as fuck. You should be suspicious. Because I knew he was just trying to get that information for his producer friend. He didn't care about me. He didn't care about the Frankleys. He just wanted to be a spy for his friend. And I know that because one day Zoso Dude was announcing it, that he was going to do a show kind of based around, quite frankly, and all it was asking us questions about Frank's producer somebody nobody knows. So all we did was hear about the guy he's spying for at that show. So it's just, it's very insincere, it's very shady, it's very dirty, it's very evil to lie to people who you've been fake friendly to for 5 years. So, and this is not me saying to retaliate against anybody. I'm just telling you the truth because he tells lies. Everything out of his mouth is a lie. I don't believe anything he says. And the fact that he lied to Frank and to you and lied about me in front of Frank, that's unforgivable. That is not pants off. That is not, frankly, a friend wouldn't do that to somebody who they thought was their friend. You would do that to somebody you don't think of as a human being, somebody you see no value in, you're going to lie about. And if you don't respect people enough to tell, he doesn't even respect Frank enough to tell him the truth, why would we expect the truth from him about anything else? So, fuck that guy. He's a liar. I don't consider him, I don't consider him. So that's what he's like. If it comes up anymore, I'll tell the truth about him every single time. He's just a creep that tries to get personal information from people. Fake as fuck. So if you hear him talking about me, call that motherfucker a liar, because everything out of his mouth is a goddamn lie. Absolutely not. If he wants to go on and then he called into the show and he didn't even correct his lie in front of Frank on the show, so he just let that slide. So that's why this is coming out today. He could have corrected himself. He had the chance to be honest, but people, what's that? That's an old episode. I don't have any respect for someone who can't respect me as a human being. So he can call into the show and apologize to Frank and go on the Friday video and go on the Monday video and comment that he lied about me in those videos if he wants to try to make it up. But if not, I will tell the truth about him every time it comes up. Because that is unfrankly. Deal with truth and walk in the light, or you can deal with lies and walk with the devil. That is your choice. Dragon Sage, I never lie. Oh, wait, that's a lie. Wait, I wrote this down. I'm supposed to say that, do the David Collins thing. I never lie. A ghost did it. So yeah, you just disrespected Frank's entire fan base. I'm really the last person anybody wants to piss off. It's okay, Karma. Tuesday. Oh my God, Tuesday, bruh. What happened? What happened? Why did he? I can't believe this was said. I had such a good time. I barely wrote anything down, but we were talking about food somehow. Oh, Erica, Zoso Dude lied and said he was gonna pick me up for the Jamboree. That's bullshit. I can show you the last time he DM'd me. It was something like March 24th of this year. So unless he sent me a DM about picking me up for an event that Frank had not even announced yet, I would like to see that DM. And not only did he lied on a public video. It's on YouTube now twice. It's on the Friday episode and it's on the Monday show. That dude is not my friend, never has been, never liked him. He's always creeped me out because he's always asking for my home address and home phone number in DMs. Yeah, just a liar like the rest of them. Stove Stoop says, my wife says I'm 2 foot in mouth to lie. She said maybe I should. I guess that's why I shouldn't most. If you lie, you have to keep more things straight, and you can walk in the light and deal with truth, or you can walk in the darkness and deal with lies. But whatever you do in the darkness comes to the light. So be proud of your behavior because one day it's all going to come out on YouTube. While the world says, I only lie to Arden. Yeah, yeah, don't tell her you said that. But we were talking about just fried rice had come up. It's some kind of like Asian food, Japanese food, whatever. So fried rice wins every time. It's always great. But then three dots, you hear something and your whole life changes. He mentioned have fried rice with French fries, potatoes with fried rice. I'm like, you don't understand. It's now my new mission in life to have that meal, and it's not going to be cheap. So just say that. It sounds so good. It's so filling. He's like, dip your fries in teriyaki sauce. I don't need to go that far, but just so French fries or fried rice with French fries. And then it was a East meets West thing. But I'm like, no, you. How did you just put two of the best foods together? And I'm this many years old. I'm today years old, and that's the first time I. What? Uh, I've just got to have that. Why did I read that? Now I'm gonna be hungry for the rest of the night. Okay, okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, if you watch the news all week, you've had a bad week, but I don't. I guess there was a murder here in the United States. We just don't have enough. Well, we have too many cowards. People don't kill killers immediately. That's society's fault. But yeah, if you kill people, no jail, just trial by shark. We don't need to keep you around anymore. If you can't get through life without unaliving people, like whether you're running them down with your car or stabbing them or just whatever, you don't need to get three hots in a cot. You don't need to sit and think about it for a few years until you change your mind about murder. You knew it was wrong beforehand. You did it anyway. Sharks got to eat too. Dusty Blue said it's got to be Belgian fries with aioli sauce. I don't think I've ever had aioli sauce. I'm surprised I can say that word. Like a acai. All I know that they just put that in with blueberry stuff to mess up the flavor. I don't even want to know what that shit is. You have to pronounce every single letter of it individually. I don't like words like that. Like Joshua. Just call him Josh. Why is it Josh with two extra letters you have to pronounce individually? Just call him Josh. Yep, Tuesday right back on the AI talk. It was nice to not have that for one night. Fried rice and French fries. Hmm, is that when that was? Yeah, that must have been when that was. Uh, yeah, that must have been it. Okay, Wednesday on the 10th. I had a great day, dude. Art said it's pretty much mayo. Not a huge mayo person. I'll try it once. I'll try it once. just say I tried it. Like a don't knock it if you haven't tried it thing. So like I'll try it once, just like yeah, I knew it wasn't like this. You can have the rest. Yep, like a little kick of spice. Maybe it's okay. It's spicy, not hot. I don't want to like sweat and cry when I'm eating, and then it has to come out of you eventually. So why punish your intestines like that? Dragon Sage Hotel Life. Hell yeah. I don't know if that's when I started it, but that's when I did a lot of work on it. I'm building the cottage from Dark Shadows. We've seen it just a handful of times, and Matthew Morgan lives there. But spoilers later on, that set gets used again, and there's like little I'm gonna say costume changes. A set changes. A little bit of the furniture is moved. It's still like the door's in the same place. You got that other door against the brick wall. You've got the fireplace. There's that little like cubby cove area for extra wood. There's some kind of cabinet up there. Then you just have to guess at the part of the wall we don't always see. I know there's a window over there. I just forget where. It's nothing we've seen yet in my reviews. I've been designing that, and then I also have to get you have to put in so many lights to try to approximate what a studio looks like, and there's like beam going across, and so I've been doing that, and you just have to work with like the confines of Minecraft. It doesn't look exactly, it's as close as I can get in vanilla Minecraft. So I've been doing that and just working out, like actually playing Dark Shadows, watching the same episode over and over again to get okay, so that's only that far, but then that's that far. So okay, so if you look in the window, you can't see. So I'm trying to make it the way it is on the show. Like for example, there's like that folding screen you kind of see in the back. It's positioned in such a way that if you're looking through the window, not the door, but the window, you can't see that bedroom door when it's open. So I've got like a banner hanging there to like block it. So I'm just trying to look in all the windows and just get all and I'm building something in color from a black and white show. That might bite me in the ass when I get to color episodes. Not caring about that right now. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I was doing on Wednesday, and I was getting so far. I've even got some outside done, and like in my mind, it's all surrounded by trees. So I'm growing trees up and just doing all this stuff and just getting everything just right. I was having a great day. I felt so accomplished. And then it was getting to 7 o'clock, so it's like, all right, let me do the quite frankly thing, and then I'll maybe get back into this. I don't know. Sometimes I play Minecraft after the show. Sometimes I'm too tired. It just depends. Out of all the stuff I've built, I've got two bigger houses even, and like a bunch of little ones and underground stuff and railroads and all this stuff. But this is one of the things I'm most proud of, and it's kind of just half of a house. I can't even really build. Do I want to build the rest based on the TV show or my imagination? Do I leave it half finished? But I digress. It's wonderful. Show up to quite frankly. Everybody in the chat room, almost everybody was just freaked out. So right away I knew they watch the news and something must have happened, and then they'll get upset and just stay that way for days. So Frank does start the show. It's just like that little intro graphic, and then right into the main credits. There was zero pre-show. I'm like, well, I know he drinks, but maybe it's on purpose. I don't know. I don't watch the news. I clearly have better things to do that are way more important. Um, I don't know if this isn't about the well, this is about the show. It is the intro for quite frankly. When did they change that? Because it's the same song. This is why sometimes you can't watch the intermission videos, because they'll just take these short clips and speed them up so fast your brain can't register what you're seeing. It's one thing to just play short clips of a show or many shows. It's another thing to play short clips that are sped up. The mind cannot process that much information. And that's all it is. It's like one of the intro videos, or I'm sorry, it's like one of the intermission videos when It's just all like it's a bunch of people dancing. It's a bunch of clips of people dancing, but it's sped up so fast you really can't place what movie it's from. You can't tell anybody's face. Nothing. It's just movement. That's just listen to it. Don't look at it because your mind is going to want to focus on something. But literally every single clip that is used is sped up so fast. You don't need to stress yourself out like that at 7 p.m. It's like just I don't know if it's a copyright thing, but that's still it. Hold still, slow it down so people can under. Otherwise, it's just a mess. It's just. I'm usually not looking at the intro video. I'm usually talking, so that's why I don't know if it's the first time it came up, but that's the first time I saw it, and I'm just gonna look in the chat room when it plays from now on because that is unnecessary. Why's it gotta move around that much? You can't tell. It's whatever. If it was important, we'd be able to see it. No pre-show. So what happens is when you watch the news, they come up with excuses to put things on the news. So they do bad things in order to bum people out and scare them and ruin what would otherwise be a great day. And apparently that's what they did on Wednesday. So after Frank just got done having a great weekend, I would assume something happens on the news and dude's been bummed out since Tuesday. Ever since Tuesday. We had that Monday show and dude's just been sad about the news the whole rest of the time. The news is not real life. People were acting like somebody physically in their house died. It is bad when somebody gets killed. I'm not saying it's not. It's not cool. It's rude to kill people. It's not nice to go on. I don't know exactly what happened. I just had to. People couldn't even tell me who this guy was who got shot. I did not get a clear answer, and I've been asking for 2 days. I got an answer, but it just doesn't. I don't know what those words mean. Um, Killing people is wrong, but you also have to realize that if it didn't happen to somebody you know personally, don't take it so personally. There's more important, everybody in your house is fine. Count your blessings. You've got a roof over your head. You've got income. You've got food in your belly. Like, yes, you can be sad that somebody was unalived, but people, I mean, they were seriously acting like they were putting on their black clothes and were going to carry some flowers and go to a funeral the next day. It's somebody you don't know died. It sucks for them. It's sad. It's bad. That's it. You don't know that person personally. It's not like you're going to be having your weekend family get together dinner and they're not going to be there. It's the news. It's supposed to make you sad. And the fact that they did this right before 9/11, just trying to get people who, suck on the news's teats to be even more traumatized come next September and the September after that. So if you're getting upset by the news, that's what they want. Yeah, you can be upset somebody died. The news is always going to be there to upset you and piss you off. It's not important. Your family is important. What's under your roof is more important than what you see on the news. So yes, it's bad, but when I see everybody I know upset about something from a TV show, that's what pisses me off. And I understand not everybody like freaked out the same way. Some people were just mad about it. Some people had to scream about it because suddenly they have no self-control. You realize that it's the screen. It's either going to entertain you or distract you. So if you're getting upset from the news, that is exactly what they want. That's why they do those things. If you stop watching that show, those things will stop happening. So if you don't like tragedies happening on the news, stop watching the news. You're part of the problem. Like people who complain about AI but still continue to use it. You're part of the problem. Don't complain about heroin addicts when you got a needle hanging out of your arm. I've been upset by things that have happened on Dark Shadows. There's one part in there, it's way towards the end. I don't want to go through that again. I'm still upset about it. But I realize it's a TV show. I didn't have to get into the chat room after I watched that episode and tell everybody how upset I was about it for 2 hours. Because it's a TV show. And it's, I don't want to spoil what happens, but it just like, like, okay, somebody could have died. And I do realize like a soap opera is not the news, and somebody actually really did die in real life. I understand that, but they're both on screens. Dragon Sage TV rot your brain. Believing TV rot your brain. You can watch it as much as you want, but if you think it's real life, then you're fucked. You're gonna vote the fear away. And anytime, like there wasn't just a fake assassination attempt earlier this year, and then people are saying the exact same thing about it. They always ask, people are asking like shooters, like, oh, I've been in the military, so I know what it's like to shoot a. I don't care about that. I'm glad you served. More power to you. Thank you for your service. But I want to hear from the actors because all this stuff, it's so staged. It's ridiculous. And I've never studied theater. I never went to school for it. Anything I know is just pure observation and common sense. Watch Merlin from 1998. Last I knew it was on Tubi. Watch it. Yeah, it's in the second part. It's at the very end, but you have to watch both parts. You'll get it. Dandy, what's up? Glad you made it. Smash that like button right, meow. Oh, Stove Tip says I'm about an hour or 45 minutes west of Boston. Oh, more towards Central Mass. All right. That's up closer to Collinsport. Yeah, Dale, it doesn't take any time to find the killers because they know who does the shooting. It's all one big group. It's all planned. They know each other. All right, yeah, Merlin was good. Sam Neill. Couldn't think of his name. Sam Neill, Isabella Rossellini, Martin Short, Helena Bonham Carter, like Rutger Hauer. Others. It is. Oh my god. It's so. It was a two-parter. It was on for 2 nights. So the whole thing's 4 hours. You can, watch it in sections. And you have to love the special effects in it. Those were top-notch late 90s special effects. I'll be honest, that's the one place where it suffers, but they knew in the 90s to not rely too heavily on special effects for television. Because they just did not have it. They were. They had good intentions. Just blending them did not. They're not industrial light and magic. It's so good. You can look past any of the CGI. Like the acting is so good. The storytelling is so good. Oh, Queen Mob. What's her name? What's her name? The actress who plays her. Miranda. Uh, Miranda Richardson. That's what it is. Yes, Pisces. Oh, so good. I think she wears a lot of purple too. I haven't seen it in years, but yeah. Dill, yeah, they make that up. Any time it takes to find somebody that's made up. And they always say they demonize people who have real mental illness because all these shooters are always like, oh, I hear voices, oh, I had this wrong with me, I had that wrong with me. They were paid to shoot somebody, and by saying they have mental illnesses, you're just making people with real mental illnesses look like demons. So that helps no one. Arden said Nicole Williamson was a great Merlin. Oh, yeah, didn't they do like a chick version of it? In the 2000s, they had to like gender swap everything and change everybody's color. Stove Soup said, "Let me know. I'm within an hour from Beantown. If weekend works, we'll travel. Winters, we have a few volleyball tournaments in Boston, as well. So there are long weekends. Oh, that's cool. Oh, instead of Williamson was in the 1981 version. Oh, okay, yeah, that's Ooh, I would not have seen that. Sorry. I mean, it's like I can't watch it now. It just back in the day, I don't think I would have. Dusty Blue said, "I'm going to the Lenox slash Great Barrington, Massachusetts last weekend in September. A wedding is on a farm. Gonna be sweet. Oh, that's cool. Getting married at the end of the wow. Because my New Year's Day is the second. It's less than a month away. I always said I would get married in April because I don't have holidays in April. I just can't imagine somebody getting married for around New Year's Day. I take that back. I was at the chiropractor like a couple months ago, and this lady's talking about going to a wedding, and she said it was going to be October 11th. I knew that was a Saturday. I'm like she doesn't know me, but I'm thinking, how are they getting married on New Year's Day? Arden, yeah, that was called Excalibur. I shucks, I've got to watch that. That sounds like fun. Yeah, the 80s, man. They're so weird. So, Subiel, it was a pleasure. Be well. Yeah, take it easy. But Wednesday, Frank just was taking a lot of calls. We got Jim Zell did call in. Frank picks up the phone and calls him Jim from Maine because he lives up in Collinsport. That's Jim Zell. Dragon Sage says his cousin works at Harvard and his wife is a ballerina in the Boston Ballet. That's sweet. Oh. So Jim Zell called in. I don't think he had any Twizzlers. Arden, hot or not Arden, but Dragon Sage, hot damn. They're ex Cirque du Soleil performers, dude. That's intense, bruh. I know a bad story about that. There was this lady who she was one of those Cirque du Soleil performers, and she was about 29 or 30, and she took a year off to have a baby, and then she came back, and she was doing this trick where she had to be like way high up at the top of the stage, and for whatever reason, whatever she was connected to, I don't know, she slipped, she fell, she's not with us anymore. I was like, damn, do you think it was that year off? I don't know, I don't know what it's like. Maybe something about having a kid would make me think I'm not supposed to go that many feet up in the air anymore. I don't know if that was her only income. I don't know the rest of it. I don't know how soon she'd been back. Oh, Nightcock, what's up? Glad you made it. Howdy, Balcony fam. What's up, man? We haven't heard from the Zells in a minute. But Jim had called, he said his piece, got off the line, and anytime we hear from one Zell, I'm thinking, okay, there's another one, like creeping up. Wait, hold on, there's more. Doesn't know, we don't always usually get both, but I get the feeling that either if they don't both watch the show at the same time, if one of them is watching, quite frankly, and calls in, the other one will just sense it and just pick up their phone and start dialing. I really do think that's what happened because I wrote down 1937, so at 7:37 p.m., Frank Zell calls in, and he can't get more than a couple sentences before some alarm starts going off, and then frankincense. He's like, "What's that?" And then there's Frank Zell. Oh, that's just my brother. He's trying to call it. So Frank Zell can't call in for more than 10 seconds before his phone is going off because his brother's calling him. So I was like, yeah, Frankenstein should call Jim Zell now, so everybody's just on the phone with each other. And this, I'm sure we won't get any feedback from that. That will crash our ears. So we got to hear from both Zells. That was fun to see. As upset as everybody was, I'm glad we got a little. You can always kind of trust on them for comedy. In a weird, it's funny to say that considering what they do for a living. If you don't know who the Zells are, about 3 days after JonBenét Ramsey was killed, Frank saw something about it on the news, and he called his brother up, like, "Hey Jim, this doesn't sit right with me. Let's check it out." And now they are going to be having a book published. Like soon, like within a year. Like the year's almost over for me, so maybe next year, 2026. But the point is, they write the book, and then after that gets all done, that's when they can start talks for doing some kind of documentary. So that's, well, like, hold on tight because there's more coming. But they know everything about that case. So anything you've heard on the news, anything you saw in that JonBenét Ramsey 4-part series that's on Netflix that came out maybe in November, they don't know shit. The Zells know everything. I've got a playlist on my channel called The Zells, and it's all of the podcasts that they were on within the last year and a half or so. So those are all in one spot. I know that playlist gets views too, so it's I'm glad folks are finding out about them. Yeah, then Jim called Frank Zell. Oh my god. Phone tag, you're it. Dusty Blue said, I visited a friend in Yarmouth, Maine at the end of August and went up to Belfast, Maine. So beautiful by the water there. Oh, you said Belfast. I'm like, whoa. How did you get across the... Oh, I didn't realize there's a Belfast in Maine. Like, isn't there like a Bangor in Massachusetts as well as Maine? It's one of those cities, and apparently it's in... How can there be two cities with the same name? Then it gets fun when the Dark Shadows goes back in time. Like wait, this was the part of the, like, when the states were sectioned off differently. I'm like, oh man, now I got to know geography to follow this. Nightcock said, isn't it just amazing how citizen investigators can do a better job than public officials? It helps that they're both cats. Um, they wanted the truth out. They didn't care about... They just wanted the truth out. If you watch especially that JonBenét documentary, and maybe they did this back at the time because that story was everywhere, but they focus on the house. And that house is disgusting. The layout of it, there's no feng shui. Energy cannot travel through this house. Thinking about it gives me anxiety. Even if before somebody was murdered there, it would have given me bad vibes. Like there was not one proper room, one proper hallway, one proper staircase. It's just, and then it's cluttered like it's your grandparents' house. But these people had like a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. Why does it look like the grandparents' house? And just this clutter. It looked like a house that you get when Gray plays House Flipper. Gray still played House Flipper back in something like 2017. Other than the water damage, that's how the house looked. There's just stuff and like bed frames and bikes and just stuff. Ugh. And then they focus on you can tell the Patsy, the mom, like they were just giving her drugs, and so people were focusing on her. rather than focusing on the church and the people who work, because it's not just one murder. There's a whole rings and rings and rings of bad people, and that's why this happened. So it's not like a one-off. It's just an epidemic that's been going on since they traced some of these people back to the 70s with their criminal records. Dusty Blue said, I know, Nikki, I was laughing with my friends. Belfast, Ireland. Ironically, where my Irish roots come from. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. I was in the airport once. I liked it. Nightcock, that's a good point. I always felt something was off with that house because you see it. It's just sort of like an A-frame in the front, and it's brick, and it's not unusual. But they show you this visual of it where it's, you know, like they can just like show you like all the different levels, like computer generated, so without any of the clutter. And just the layout of it is absolutely disgusting. Whoever designed that needs to be kicked in the dick. That's just how just no. And you bought that on purpose and you wanted to live there. I'm just so agitated thinking about it. I would get no rest in that house. Even if there was not a murder there. Don't tell me it still exists. You better have torn that down. It's been almost 30 years. Nobody wants to see that house anymore. But then they show actual video camera footage of it, and that's when you get to see all the clutter. So if it wasn't disconcerting to see it bare bones, then you see it in the flesh. And it's worse. Like, how can this get worse? Oh, we've got actual video of it. It's got the date down in the corner because it happened on, you know, Christmas. So you get to see that Christmas date in the corner. And it is clutter, 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 clutter. Upstairs, downstairs, attic, basement, just clutter everywhere. They never cleaned anything. What were you people doing? Were you too busy touching children to clean your house? That's how it looks. That's really how it looks. You're not making your hoarder friends look very good. Dusty Blue. Also, there are the ones getting married on the farm in Massachusetts, near where I grew up in the summers. They're going to honeymoon in Ireland in the spring in 2026. Nice. Dale, the house that John Benet Ramsey lived in. Dusty Blue, yeah, just fun Kismet connections. I like those, yeah. Just some house in Boulder, Colorado. They don't still live there, do they? I don't care. The worst part is he got remarried. She looks shady. Check her browser history. Check on the children in that woman's family. You don't marry that man unless you want to get in on the kind of life he's living. And everybody was sad because the news planned a murder. Can't just tell everybody to go build something in Minecraft. I didn't know they were doing that. I was having a good time. I had my phone on and everything. I don't watch the news. And somebody called in and they were even crying. It's just, like, it is a tragedy that somebody got killed. Bigger tragedy is when you take it personally. And then Frank read an article. Whoever wrote the article was a dick because they're like, oh, because the guy was married and he had a couple of kids. So the person wrote in this article, now there's these children who have been orphaned. That's a bit much. Are you saying that that's not their real mother? Are you saying she's such a bad woman she's just going to dump those kids off on somebody and run away? You can't be an orphan unless you have zero parents. We literally covered that on this channel from Dark Shadows. So whoever wrote that article never watched Dark Shadows or read a dictionary because they would know what the word orphan means. I know I'm just like zeroing in on one word, but they're just trying to be, if you're trying to be inflammatory and like tug on people's heartstrings, you're going to get farther with me if you use English correctly. I'm not saying it would work on me because I know the news is fake, but yeah, don't just be saying words because you know they're going to get a reaction out of people. Maybe AI wrote it. They did have emojis in their handle, not the handle, but you can have your screen name on Twitter, and then they had emojis after it and Satan symbols. Disregard. Nightcock is the Zells documentary, the one called Obsession in your playlist. That's one of them. The Obsession one is that's when Frank Zell was on Miss Shorty. For whatever reason, Jim Zell could not join that week, but it was more focused on just it's not just Frank and Jim Zell looking into a murder. It is an interview, yeah, Nightcock. It's mostly his side of it because he's just for Frank Zell, it's an all-consuming thing. Like you think about it all the time. If you're sitting down, if he's trying to sit down and watch a football game, his mind's going to stray back to the case. If he's like just going out for a walk, that's what he's going to think about. When he's trying to fall asleep at night, his mind just keeps going back to that case. And then it was bad in the past. I guess he was knocking himself out with booze and drugs to just not think about it, and now he's in a healthier place. He's not wrecking himself up with drugs. He's got a good wife, a good family, and he has his head on straight. But just the fact that you pursue the truth as relentlessly as a junkie chases after dope. And I mean, obsession is obsession, whether addicted to finding the truth or addicted to drugs. So it's all the same thing. It just expresses itself differently. So I understand obsession. And he was talking about that high that you get when you do find out the truth. That's he says it's better than any buzz that you're going to get from a bottle, a pill, anything like that. I get what he's talking about. Like when you stumble across some knowledge and it's like nobody's realized this before. I'm the first one to figure this out, and it's like the sky opens up. You can't. Nothing can top that. And so he's just kind of getting into, because it's been almost 30 years of his life. So when he started out, he was a different kind of way. And then at some point, he found God. So he's a more religious man. So he's probably not as heavy handed as he was in the past. So he's, grown since then. And then it's funny. It's like Jim Zell is actually like a preacher or pastor or whatever. And then you have Frank Zell, who also found God. So I'm like, did your brother tell you about God one day? Like, hey, read this book, check it out. Like, how did that even happen? But I guess he just found it separately. Like, hey, Jim, do you hear about this God guy? And Jim's like, yeah, I know. I'm just trying to imagine just somebody with like a kitty cat with that little priest collar. Because Frank Zell might be a cat. Watch those interviews, because his little avatar in the interviews, it's a kitty cat. And we've never seen him in real life, so he could be a cat. Yeah, that's when J5000 came in. Was I just said something to her and she just let me know about Pickled Gamer. He's okay now. He just had just everything go wrong all at once. Thursday show, no pre-show again. Just the little intro clip, thing, and then just right into the song and all that stuff. Don't watch it. Everything moves by so fast. It's not going to make sense. Just save your eyes. And it just seemed like Frank was in the same mood as he was the night before. Like the whole 24 hours went by, and it's like he barely cheered up at all, and was just. It was kind of just. It was like the Wednesday show. Understandable to keep the topic going like that, but I just, again, I'm just sad when I see people that I care about letting a TV show upset them so much that they're crying and having the worst day. When I just, again, I was having the great day. I'm building the cottage. It's so. I call it a cottage. It kind of takes up a lot of space. So how big in comparison would Collinwood be? And then I'm trying to think about building the foyer. So I'm trying to, okay, if this is that many spaces apart, that means that would be 4 blocks apart. And then the staircase, that's 2 blocks wide. And then you got, so like, I'm looking at architecture in a way I never have before and focused on that. And having great days instead of focusing on the news, which is not going to make anybody feel better. And the more you watch it, the more they're going to do this kind of stuff. So I know people need to like vent and get it out of their system, so it's good. that we had that kind of a show. It would have been different if Frank was trying to have a different kind of show on Thursday, but everybody wanted to call in and talk about the same topic, so he would have just been drug back into it. John Rogers, that was weird the way he started the show. Yeah, it's sometimes he might come on for like a minute and then play the intro. No, it was just like that little intro bumper thing to start the show when he would normally start playing music right out into the drums for the disclaimer and all that stuff. I feel weird describing the intro, quite frankly. You guys have seen it as much as I have. I usually don't. I usually just hear the song because I'm typing and saying hello. Yeah, the news is just designed to depress you, like save your actual tears if you have somebody in your life that you have met pass away. What's up, Francois? Glad you made it. And it also makes me sad that he was so excited for this event for so long, and then just a couple of things happen on the news, and that just sapped all of his energy, and he's just been so sad all week. Like, dude, you just got to meet people who you might never get to meet again. You don't know what they had to go through to be in New York, to meet you and meet other folks. Like, that high should raise you up higher than anything you see on the news. And I'm so sad that like meeting all those people, it's like it all went away because now we've just got sadness from it. It's like I would think I would be riding the high off of meeting Franklies like that for more than Sunday and Monday. Like hell, I would let the news bring me down. I don't care what the hell happened. I just got to meet Franklies. So it just like this, you have to decide what you let influence you. So maybe let people who are friends and people you care about and talk to have a bigger influence on your emotions than what happens on the news. It's perspective. Just meeting all those people, having all those people come together means more than anything you're going to see on MSM. Like, yeah, people die, but I'm just so happy I got to meet so many Franklies, and this is just one day. No, we didn't get any of that. Dude he was just so sad about it. It was like the jamboree never even happened. You wouldn't know there was a jamboree and Franklies met in real life based on the rest of the show. I don't mean he should be fake and act like everything's fine, but I'm just really sad that he or anybody let themselves get more upset over the news than they were happy about Franklies getting together and meeting. That's Satan right there. Satan's taken away your happiness and your good times, and you think that's the right emotion to have because that's what's expected. It's like, no, you're not expected to be sad. Danny, that must have been a real high for Frank. It must have been. That's to plant something and know. Yeah, see, like Frank just tweeted something. I'm not reading that. That's probably about the news. I don't care. I'm not going to let him bring me down. Oh yeah, that's what it was. If it was a real assassination attempt, you wouldn't have seen Trump out at a ball game the next day. If you can't tell, it's fake. Like, you know what? Bad stuff happens every day, but I made something good happen. I made all the Franklies come together. So I'm going to choose to be happy and just realize bad things happen in the world, but there's more good than bad. We didn't hear any of that. And I'm the one with the suicidal depression. That's why I'm getting on him about it. Like, dude, you are generally fine. So what's all this sadness about coming from about the news? See, I have real problems, so I can't cry about the news. And Nightcock, don't let anyone ever take away your happy. Exactly. Remember that "Steal My Sunshine" song that was out in probably 1999? So whatever happens on the news does not have to do with anything dealing with me, and my level of depression shouldn't be like that for anybody else. Like, there's not real problems out in the world. Yeah, the news is psychological warfare. If you're sad, it worked. They'll stop killing people like this if you stop watching. Again, Merlin. Oh, what's up, John McHugh? Glad you made it. Hey, Cox saying to Francois, top of the morning, because it's 2:30 in the morning there. It's just a few time zones away. Yeah, I don't know. When he showed up on Monday, I just heard a lot of people in the chat room talking about. Folks wished I was at the jamboree. Uh, um, yeah, they just that's what folks were saying in the chat room. I don't know if people at the actual event were saying that they wanted me there. I didn't hear that in the video. All I heard in the video was Zoso Dude lying about saying he offered to bring me to the jamboree. Dusty Blue says the news shock and awe is not worth one's happiness. It's not. And I woke up today in such a good mood knowing I've got most of the cottage built in Minecraft. That's a physical, real place I can go to. I built it. I made it. I made parts of it that you can't even see on camera, just based on my own imagination. We have no reason to believe like the back part of the house exists. That's real. The news is not real. Dandy, that was a cool song, LOL. It's like just one of those like summer boppy. It's not hurting anybody. Like Call Me Maybe. It's just a one hit wonder. Who really calls anybody in that day and age too? So it's just a cute little song. It's not hurting anybody. Back when MTV played music, they played music videos on that channel. Yeah, folks in the chat room are like, "Oh, folks wished you were there." It's like I don't know. I'm not hearing that in the video. Folks in the chat room wished I was there. I already shouted out the people on my own channel who did want me there. Um, all I heard was somebody lie about me in a public video. Who, as also do, just tries to get my personal address and personal phone number in DMs, and that's been his shtick for 5 years. And then I even said there ever I've been saying this since Frank announced it. Next time me next year next nothing. I told you this. It was my one shot to get there. So I was so upset about it. And then that event was used to throw in my face that I am not as physically able as other people, that I am not financially well off like other people, and then somebody had to lie about me to Frank's face in a public video. So, like, I'm soured on the whole experience. I'm glad other people had fun that got to go. But it's not fun to hear people lie about you in public videos to someone you do respect. And I don't know if people thought, like, quite frankly, super chats were like a cut of that was going to myself. That was never set up anywhere. I never said that. Frank never said that. I've got super chats on my own channel that goes to me. That's my only source of income. Um, and I was getting a lot of like shocked Pikachu face, like what? Like no, that's it. Just the one time. That was it. There is no next time. Everybody thinks that there's going to be a next time. Everybody hopes things are going to turn out. Everybody thinks there's going to be another chance. No. Time runs out. John Rogers said, I miss old MTV. Like, I could watch Beavis and Butthead. I could watch music videos. We'd watch Loveline and laugh about these people with their dumb sex lives. Nightcock, has anyone seen the... I don't condone this. The new Beavis and Butthead on Comedy Central. We don't do rehashes or remakes. Be original or be fucked. Jan McHugh, hoping to meet you as well. Jamboree was fun. I saw the Beavis and Butthead movie in the theater, and that was the only time I went to a movie and the lights dimmed and people clapped. I've never had that happen at any other film I've been to, and that was, what, the late 90s. Oh, hell yeah, Francois just said, I recently discovered Robot Chicken. It is hilarious. Robot Chicken is so good. What's that gummy bear one? Like, I'm just happy to be a gummy bear, gummy bear. That's one of the best ones. The one with, what's his name? Fumbles. It's this, it's like these GI Joe guys, and this one guy wants to be a sharpshooter, and like he thinks it's cool, but he slips and falls or drops something, and so they're like, haha, we're gonna call you Fumbles, and he's like, oh shit, and watch, oh yeah, like that clip. It's available on YouTube. I tried to share it to Jerry Coogan once, but he couldn't watch it. But he's in the UK. But Nightcock Robot Chicken. Wow, that was a series. Does it still come on? I don't know, but you need to watch that. Oh my god. Oh, the friggin' never-ending story bit. Oh my god. Oh, it. Yo, this gets 6 feet to the tank of gas. You might want to put on a helmet so you don't make a mess when I blow your mind. Oh, it's so. Let's never mind about Seth Green for a minute. To just watch the show. Oh, you gotta watch some Robot Chicken. Francois, I can't stop laughing at the episode The Old Testament According to Robot Chicken. John Rogers lying in Cleveland Clinic watching Cocaine Bear and Beavis and Butthead do the university. Oh, I gotta see Cocaine Bear. That's my favorite cause of death. Nightcock, yeah, Dr. Fumbles. I think I'll call you Trouser Snake. I don't even care anymore. That dude's mentality, how that dude just breaks. I love that whole skit. And the thing about Robot Chicken is, like, they're so short. It's not like you have to watch a whole episode to like get. It's not like they have running jokes. It's just like skit after skit after skit after skit. So it might be like a minute or two long, or some of them are so short. Oh my god, it's so good. It's the fact that it's stop motion animation. It's not done with computers. It's actual little like GI Joes and Barbies and whatever. Yeah, 24 frames a second. So it's like real people have to make it. I'm a huge fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, and that was groundbreaking in terms of the way you can film stop motion animation, where usually it's just still shots. The Nightmare Before Christmas, you get like these sweeping camera angles and stuff like that. So that's why it was innovative. John Rogers, I have them on my phone on Telegram. Oh, nice. But yeah, like I was saying, it's just sometimes everything's not for you. Not everything works out in your favor. Stuff happens the way it's supposed to. I was talking in the chat room though. John Volts, he can't live that far. Like maybe like Bowling Green ways. They're talking about like meeting up with him and his wife. They're like, yeah, it's got to be sometime soon. The year's almost over. Like yeah, I would want to meet any frankly. If you lied about me, I don't consider you. I would say I don't consider you frankly, but it's I don't consider you full stop. Francois, it is a lot of work and very creative. I saw behind the scenes how they do it. It's amazing. Yeah, if you screw up, you won't notice until you play it all back. And it's raw. Like in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Spoilers for a movie that came out in 1993. He's got this microscope, and he gets this little one of those little red holly berries, and he's got his tweezers, and he takes it off, and he puts it on the slide. But then it must have been Friday because he takes his hand away, and suddenly the tweezers are gone, and then he's reaching to like adjust it. So like we don't get the motion of him like setting it down. They're just like using the tweezers and then the hand. So it's very smooth. It's very smooth, but it's just that one item's gone, and you. I've clearly watched that movie a lot. Oh yeah, it looks like the folks that showed up did have a good time. Again, it's basically just the chat room with extra steps. So it's the way we talk to each other and get to know each other over the years. It was just a microcosm of that. Something that we can do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's say 12 nights a week if you count this show, or 12 hours a week if you count this show. So that's not so bad. And I don't know if exactly if Frank would do like have an event in the same place. Does he want to get people in the studio again and then have a bigger event in a different building? I don't know how any of that, like renting out spaces and stuff like that. Like, hey, can me and like 200 people just show up on this one night in a few months? Yeah, yeah, cool. No, we won't break anything. Is this Frank? No, no, yes. Hang up. And I don't have the patience to do stop motion animation. I appreciate people that do their flip books, so they're like little animated stuff. That's very cool. Like maybe when I was younger, I would have had the patience for it. I do appreciate like tedious tasks. I get that. Sometimes that can be enjoyable, but then sometimes I get frustrated and just want to do something else. So I get that too. Or when a South Park was covering how to do stop motion animation, and Kyle and Stan had the whole layout done, and then Cartman, achoo, and everything goes flying, and Kyle screaming at him. It's like, that took me hours. Cartman's like, I'm cold, what do you want me to do? South Park is not. It was like the very first Spirit of Christmas, whatever that the tape that George Clooney was showing around to everybody. That is stop motion animation. They were doing it that way for a while, but one of the seasons it aired 6 months later than usual at the time. It used to be that South Park came on at one time a year and just played, and then they did that bullshit where a lot of shows did this, where like they'd play half of the season in say March, and then the other half of the season in the fall. But one year we did not get like the season start in, whatever the proper time was. It was delayed 6 months because the staff had to learn how to use the new technology it's all done with computers, but it looks like it's, paper cutouts. So they had to learn how to use that stuff before they could make more episodes. So that's why that was. Uh, that's just Puff going live. He's been playing Roblox. That's not fun for me to watch. It's not about the controversy. I just don't like the way it looks. Oh, Chris, what's up? Glad you made it. Said, hey fam, stopping by, waiting for the Dodgers game to start. That dude got into baseball. It seems like right about the same time I was getting into Minecraft. And so he's about baseball the way I am about that video game. And Chris has helped me out with my tech stuff, so he knows what he's talking about. He's got better hearing than me, so if he hears like just like a hiss or like some extra noise, I'm gonna believe him. I really do hope if Frank does another jamboree that folks that did not get to go this time get to go next time. And I mean, like, yeah, it's great if like the same people get to go every time, but it would be nice for like, especially with like Frank being there, to maybe he does want to meet a different mix of people every time, just to meet as many Franklins as he can. I don't know. I don't know what the point of putting something like that together is for now. Since I realized that it's just a microcosm of the chat room, I mean, it's nice to do stuff. I don't know why people organize things. Like, I don't know, understand why people have a wedding and invite all of these people. You don't even know that many people. You don't even like that many people. They just happen to have the same last name as you. And now you got to expect them to show up and act right. And you got to feed them and worry about where they're going to park. And it's why? Maybe it's fun for some folks. I'm not that type. So if he had fun planning it and meeting folks, that's great. It seems like he did. Couldn't tell by the rest of the episodes this week, but if you've watched the don't watch the Monday show. I don't want to hear you guys hearing lies about me from So Dude. John Rogers, yeah, he didn't get it from me. Yeah, just like sports from that family. That's why John Rogers is great. He does not do sports, so I was like, oh hell yeah, like baseball. I just want to watch. It's sad. Ever since I went to Biomes of Plenty and I can get my purple lavender fields, I just want to watch Field of Dreams again. But I don't think it's on Netflix. So I'm just going to have to watch my own show and relive that experience watching myself. I usually can. When I'm watching myself back, if I'm not nervous, I'm trying to be less nervous because I'm a nervous person. And when I'm watching myself back, if I'm really in the moment, I can relive it. And it is weird to watch yourself. I'm not necessarily like, I don't necessarily like the way I look, but I need to know when to, like, where I'm screwing up at. And I'm just trying to see the way the camera picks me up. Chris Sports EWE. Nightcock said, baseball is a nice way to escape the world for a little bit, but if you don't have a team, it makes it hard to appreciate. And that's speaking as a Texas Rangers fan. Oh, damn. It's just, it would, like with sports, I've never really played any kind of sports, so it would be different if I maybe was like good at it or played it, or like, say, like my husband, brother, father, sister even was into it. Uh, I'm just not. But again, somebody has a video game and I'm playing baseball. Cool, I'm all about it. What's like? I understand some of the rules. I can follow along. John Rogers says my escape is cars. Yeah, don't have your escape be social media. It's just gonna make you sad. I don't know. Maybe this is the first thing Frank's planned. Does he like planning events? Maybe that's his thing. Was he's never mentioned being an event planner before. Like, did it go that well? Could that be like a side hustle? I do a podcast and then I arrange get-togethers. Scattered all the time. Chris says at least it's the Rangers and not the Trash Tros. Is that the Astros? I don't know sports team. Somebody tried to explain a color to me, and they're like, it's the same, I don't know, green or whatever, as, and they gave me a sports team for an example. I I know what color a football is. I know the grass is green. That's it. I could you Crayola. I know those. I don't know. That cock says I work on cars sometimes. I need a break. LOL. Yeah, you do you get bored working on like work cars and then you just work on your own car to de-stress? Nightcock, what the hell? They got caught cheating by banging on trash cans? That's so lame. Just play the F and it catch the damn ball. Is it that boring? Is it baseball or is it soccer when they get bored off to the side, so they just start like taking like water cups and building pyramids and just doing all other kinds of wackiness, the side quests? Maybe it's soccer or sorry, European football, UK football. I was never I guess just not a sports family. Like my friends growing up, they were straight guys and they were into football and basketball and stuff. But oh, I can't physically do those things. I don't understand. I mean, like yeah, I'm not like a ballerina either. I can watch dancers, but Chris said, "Yep, the Astros they cheat and they have a garden gnome playing for them." Oh no. They felt sorry for him. He always throws the ball and hits the guy swinging the bat in the knee, so then that guy has to just limp to the base. I see what they're doing. Okay. Oh, and then real quick at the end, real quick at the very end of the show, Frank must have just decided this last minute because he said that he's gonna do. Monday is gonna be film club. It's usually just for people that support the channel monetarily, but he decided to make it public. He must have just decided that because he did another public book movie club when he did the Prestige, and we knew about that for at least a week beforehand, maybe more. Uh, yes. So at the very last second, you have until I guess Monday. They're watching. I didn't write it down. Is it the stand? Because he has that deer scene. That's from the stand, right? I know about that film behind the scenes, so I just oh, those kids went through it. I've never seen the actual film. It would have been nice to know about that, sometime during the week because there's literally no time for me to sit down and watch a movie with. I go live 2 days. Sunday I'm off. Yeah, there's no time to squeeze that in. Um, he must have just decided at last minute, I guess. Maybe he's bummed out from the news this week and he wants to see more folks there. I don't know, but it was literally the last thing that was said. I want to say Stand By Me is on Tubi. Haven't checked. Always check Tubi. It's free. You can watch Dark Shadows on Tubi. I've got the link to the description, or link to that in the description of this channel. Oh, Nightcock, yeah, his survey worries me a little bit, only if he makes, like, some major changes to the format. One to go to, Stand By Me. Yeah, Frank does have this thing going on. It started earlier this week. He's going to have it going on next week. Check out the Discord announcements. It's a survey. It maybe takes 3 minutes long. Multiple choice questions just about the show. Um, and then at the very end you can like type and like answer a question, but the thing that kind of put me off about those questions was some of the lack of punctuation. Swearing and profanity are the same thing. That's like plots and schemes. And there were two questions in there about the show potentially going down to 3 or 4 nights a week. And would people pay for the other 2 nights? Chris Six, the Sandlot is who got me into the Dodgers. That was the team that Benny the Jets Rodriguez ended up playing for. I did not know that. Oh, right. It's been so long since I watched The Sandlot. I watched that all the time as a kid. Yeah, but that's again. Go to Frank's Discord if you want to fill out that survey. He was pushing it at the start of the week, but then I don't know. He got distracted and he stopped mentioning it. But yeah, just answer those honestly. Just asking general questions about stuff for just so Frank knows what direction to take the show in 2026. Brother, that's January. That's so far into next year. I don't care about next year until I get to about January 12th. So I'm not even thinking about that. Or I'm sorry, I'm October 12th. So if you, it's only going to be up for 2 weeks. If you get a chance, take it. He mentioned you already got in a lot of responses because he dropped it in the Discord like in the morning ish, and then Monday he was bringing it up. So yeah, take that, check it out. There was a place at the end where you can leave some kind of comment. I don't know what the character limit is. There is a bit of an animation every time you select something. Like it's got a lot like animate before it shows you the next option. That's not. I'm sure that's nothing they designed. That's just the way that website's set up. But yeah, I never mind those swearing and profanity. I can't believe they missed that. They should don't have me read anything. That's okay. But yeah, take that if you can. If not, it's whatever. And then we are going to do something just like this tomorrow at 7 p.m. Probably continuing with some Dark Shadows. So I will see you guys to talk about that. I'm glad you guys had a couple of extra hours on a day that ends in Y. Friday. I'm glad you guys had some extra time. Smash that like button on the way out. It helps out the channel and it helps out when you're subscribed. I'm up to something like 259 subscribers. So just me mentioning that means I'm going to lose 2, but then I'll gain like 5 more. So I'm on the track to get 260 describers. Describers, that's cute. Just describe the channel you watch. 260 describers. I said it again. 260 subscribers by New Year's Day. Nightcock, I hope to have a light day tomorrow. Thanks for doing a live tonight. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for showing up. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. Get something to eat, get some good sleep, smoke out on the balcony. Check out that quiz that Frank has on Discord. And don't forget that the news is not real life. What's happening in your personal life and what's happening under your roof is more important than what's happening on MSM. Never forget that. Whatever is happening on the screen pales in comparison to what you have to deal with in real life. And sometimes no reaction is the correct reaction. Always tell the truth. Don't lie about people. Don't lie about me, or I will tell everybody about you everywhere. So one to go to. Thank you so much, Nikki. John Rogers, have a great night, everyone. Yeah, everybody, take it easy. Be honest. Don't lie to frankincense about people. Take the news with a grain of salt. You don't have to take your pants with you. You can leave them on the floor if you're going to be back tomorrow. So I love seeing all you guys. Thanks for giving me this platform so I can talk to you guys whenever Frank is off of the air. And I will see you folks in, well, I'd say in a chat room, but I'm going to be on camera the next time I'm in a chat room. So I will see you guys at the next show. Everybody, look after yourselves. Until